Hi, welcome to the session number 2, unit number 6, DevOps. I'll recap the session number 1. In the session number 1, uh, we learned about what is DevOps, introduction to DevOps, different phases of DevOps, then DevOps tool chain. Now, what is DevOps? In the last class, in the last session, we studied about DevOps, right? What is DevOps? DevOps means it came from the two words. One is software development and IT operations, right? It is the first. It is came in 2008. DevOps is intense a communication between a software development team and the operation team in order to enhance the quality of the particular software. Now, introduction to DevOps. DevOps, it's not a tool, it's not a programming language, it is not a scripting language, it is not a technology, it is a mindset or philosophy in order to develop and release a software, right? In the last class we discussed about different phases of DevOps also, right? We have some different phases of DevOps are there. The first one is plan, code, build, test. These four concepts, four components is came under development team, that is plan, code, build and test. At the operation side, you have deploy, operate and monitor. Totally you will have 7 phases of DevOps are there, right? In the development stage, you have 4 stages, that is plan, code, build and test. You integrate all the code, then we are going to deploy it on the server. The deploy is come under the operation side. Deploy it, operate it and continuously monitor it. These are all the different phases of DevOps are there. And also we learned about DevOps tool chain, right? In the DevOps tool chain, you have 4 things: continuous integration, continuous delivery, continuous deployment and continuous monitoring system, right? Here also we have plan, create or build or coding, right? Verify, package, release, configuration, then monitoring system. These are all the different types of uh, activities are involved in the DevOps tool chains. Now we'll see the organization of the session number 2, right? In the session number 2, why we need DevOps, then traditional IT versus DevOps. What is traditional IT? In the traditional IT, what the concepts they are using? In the DevOps, what are the advantages of DevOps? What the thing where they are doing in the DevOps, right? And also uh, goals of DevOps. Then who is a DevOps engineer? These are all the things we are going to see in this session number 2. Now we'll see why we use DevOps, right? Why we need DevOps? What are the advantages of DevOps, right? Before DevOps, the development and operation team worked in complete isolation, right? Before the DevOps came to the picture, in traditional IT system, in traditional software companies, they used the isolation concept. Isolation in the sense, the software development team, testing team, management team, it's not highly communicate with the within the organization, right? Each and every team will going to work independently. At the last, they are giving the end product to the next stage, right? The developers will develop the code, right? After developing, just they will going to give that code to the tester. There is no much more communication between each and every team. There is much more communication between communication team and testing team than the management team and then development team or testing team, right? There is a almost all isolation between each and every development of the development stage of the particular organization, right? DevOps, it uses the isolation. It's isolation means one person is not depending on the another person. Each and every person is working independently. It won't depend on the other one, right? Now, testing and development were isolated activities done after design build, right? Hence they consumed more time than the actual build cycle, right? Testing and development team are going to work with isolation in the sense they are not interacting with each other, they are not communicating with each other. It is a testing team or development team or deployment team, right? Obviously if there is no communication, then they may have the time should be more, right? The time required to completion of the particular project is obviously more, right? With next one is without using DevOps, team members are spending large amount of their time in testing, deploying and designing instead of building the project, right? Unnecessarily the team members will going to spend the time in the sense suppose they are facing some problems, right? uh, to find the solution for the problem itself, they are going to use large many time, that was so many amount of time they will going to waste, right? In the traditional IT system. In DevOps it's not. Continuous communication and deployment is there, right? Got the idea? DevOps, before the DevOps, the development and operation team worked in a complete isolation, right? All the team members, they are going to work with isolation. Then manual code deployment leads to the human errors in production while delivering the particular software, right? While releasing the particular software, while configuring the particular code at the client end, right? Right? You will going to get some errors. Manual code deployment leads to the human errors. There is no automation. There is no automation concepts in traditional IT system, right? Manually using manpower itself, they are going to deploy the particular application at the client end, right? So if the human beings are doing the thing in the sense, obviously some of the error rates should be high in case of traditional IT. Then coding and operation teams have their separate timelines, right? In the DevOps, the for the overall project, they will fix the timelines. Here in traditional IT, for the coding, they will fix the separate timelines. For the operation team, they will fix the separate timelines. Hence, it increases the time of the particular project or application. Right? Now we will see some of the futures of DevOps compared to traditional IT or differences between traditional IT and DevOps. Now I mentioned some of the dimensions, that is batch size, scheduling, release, metric, right? Batch size. The batch size or team size is very big in traditional IT system. In DevOps, the batch size is very small, right? So there are so many people are working in traditional IT compared to the DevOps. Then scheduling means timing, right? Scheduling, what job scheduling or whatever it may be, that is centralized scheduling system is there in traditional IT, right? Here in DevOps, decentralized scheduling system, it is independent, right? These people are somewhat independent to work. These in traditional IT, they are not independent. They are very much dependent on the company standards, right? So the scheduling is centralized in traditional IT. The scheduling is decentralized in DevOps. At the release time, you have high risk. As I told, you may get a lot of errors while deploying the application at the client side. Right? DevOps, no risk at all. While deploying the particular application, there may be no risk if you use the DevOps concept. Why? Because we are using some automation, right? Continuous monitoring system is there, continuous deployment is there. If any errors is came automatically within short period of time, they will fix those errors, right? In the traditional IT, it's not the case. In the release, in traditional IT, you may get high risk. In DevOps, There will be no risk at all. Then metrics. The cost is high in traditional IT. In DevOps, cost is low, right? Cost is high in the sense the time is high. As and when the time is high, automatically the cost is high, right? The cost and time was directly proportional IT industries. If the time is increases, automatically the cost also increases, right? DevOps cost is low compared to traditional IT. And one of the metric is capacity is low. The capacity of the particular IT, traditional IT system is low. In DevOps, the capacity is high, right? So these are all some of the differences between traditional IT and DevOps. Here, the batch size is big. In DevOps, batch size is small. The scheduling in traditional IT system, scheduling is centralized. Scheduling is decentralized in DevOps. In release, traditional IT, high risk. In DevOps, no risk. One of the metrics, that is cost is high in traditional IT, cost is low in DevOps. Capacity is low in traditional IT, capacity is high in DevOps. Now, why is DevOps used? Why we are using this DevOps? What are the advantages? Right? If you use this DevOps, you will get lot many benefits, lot many things, lot many advantages, lot many uses. Some of them are predictability. This is very most important concept in DevOps. DevOps offer significantly lower failure rates of new releases, right? If you are releasing a particular application, if you are deploying a particular applications, you may get very less errors, less failures. Why? Because continuous integration, continuous deployment is there, continuous monitoring system is there, right? That's why we are going to get lower failure rates, less errors we are going to get while releasing the particular application. Then the next one is reproducibility. Reproducibility in the sense earlier versions can be restored at any time. Using this DevOps, we can get the backups of the earlier versions. DevOps gives, this is a good advantages of DevOps. DevOps permits us to get the backup of the particular applications. Earlier versions can be restored at any time, right? The next one is maintainability. Maintainability means effortless process of recovery in the event of new release, crashing or disabling the current system, right? There is no effort to get the recovery of the particular software or recovery of the particular crashed application or disabling the current system. Maintainability is very easy in if you use the concept of DevOps. We can say no maintenance at all. Why? Because all the things we're going to monitor it, right? Time to market. One of the advantages, time to market. DevOps reduces the time to market up to 50% through streamlined software delivery. This is particularly the case for digital and mobile applications, right? DevOps reduces the time to market, right, up to 50% through streamlined software delivery, right? Then one more point is greater quality, right? This is very most important. DevOps helps the team to provide improved quality of application development. It has a QA team, quality assurance team is there, separate team is available to enhance the quality of the particular application, right? This DevOps will going to give higher quality of the particular applications. Next, discontinue, that is reduced risk. As I told you, reduced risk in the sense DevOps incorporates security aspects in the software delivery life cycle. It helps in reduction of defects across the life cycle, and also it will going to see the security policies also, right? Either it may be internal attacks or external attacks, it will going to see the security of the particular application or software. Next, resiliency. The operational state of the software system is more stable, secure, and changes are audible, right? if we are using the DevOps concept, in the sense that that applications are more stable and more secureable and easy to modify. Easily we can change the particular applications or software. Changes are editable, right? Easily we can make the modifications in the existing applications. Then cost efficiency. DevOps offers cost efficiency in the software development process, which is always as an inspiration of IT companies management, right? Here cost efficiency. Cost is low compared to the traditional or other software IT environments, right? If you use the DevOps concept. Next, you have breaks larger code base into small pieces. It is one of the uh, new process in DevOps. Here, if you have a large program, large application, they are going to break the big project into smaller, right? DevOps is based on the agile programming method. DevOps is based on the agile programming method. Therefore, it allows breaking larger code bases into smaller and manageable chunks, right? This, if you have a big application, if you have a big project, they are going to big program, it will going to divide that particular code into small chunks, right? Once I'll go through the why we use DevOps, right? In DevOps, we have a predictability, reproducibility, maintainability is possible, then time to market, greater quality, right? Reduced risk, resiliency, cost efficiency, breaks larger code base into small pieces. Got it? If you have these kind of advantages or uses of DevOps are there. That's why the IT industries, they have moved to DevOps concept. Now we will see the goals, different goals of DevOps. DevOps will going to give so many goals, right? Yeah, speed. It will going to increase the speed of software development. Reliability in the sense it will going to give less errors, right? There is no errors in the if you use the concept of DevOps concept. Why? Because you have a continuous integration team, continuous development team, continuous integration, continuous deployment, continuous monitoring system is there, so that you can get very less number of errors, right? That's why it has more reliability. Next, rapid delivery. Rapid delivery in the sense easily we can deliver it at any time. Then scalability. Scalability in the sense easily we can scale up the infrastructure or scale down the infrastructures if you use the concept of DevOps. Easily to scale up and scale down the particular infrastructure in the IT organization, they will use the concept of virtualization. Virtualization in the sense using a single physical system, they will going to create multiple virtual machine. The clients will going to use the virtual machine, not exactly the physical machine, right? You feel that I am working with the actual physical machine, right? In such a way that drastically they can increase the infrastructure or decrease the infrastructures if you use the concept of DevOps. Scalability is possible, right? Next, security. Security. Then in DevOps, the main goal of the DevOps is to provide high security for the applications, right? They will going to use different types of firewalls or different encryption methods, right? Advanced encryption method, decryption methods they are going to use, right? If you use the concept of DevOps, it's going to give the high security for the particular applications. Then collaboration in the sense each and every persons are integrated, and then they will do the work. Integrated working environment, we are going to call it as collaboration, means integrated working environment. And also they will see the efficiency of the particular applications. Efficiency, how to get the efficiency we are going to get when, in the sense the throughput rate should be high. The throughput rate should be high, right? Lower failure rates, right? Lower failure rates we are going to get if we use the concept of DevOps. Fast delivery of data, fast fast recovery of data, right? We are going to use the easy to get the backups, right? If you have a server crash or a database crash or hardware crash is there in the sense, easily we can recover that particular application or data easily if we use the concept of DevOps, right? Once again I'll tell some of the goals of the DevOps are speed, reliability, rapid delivery, scalability, security, collaboration, efficiency, low failure rates, and fast recovery of data. Right? These are all some of the goals of the DevOps. Then we will see who is the DevOps engineer. Who is we know software engineers, test engineers, network engineers. Then who is a DevOps engineer? Right? A DevOps engineer is an IT professional who works with software developers, system operators, and other production IT staff to administer code releases. Right? It will going to communicate with, right, developers, system operators, and other IT staff to administer code releases. As soon as possible, they need to finish that particular application in such a way that the DevOps engineers will going to work, right? It has a it has eye communication between all the people which are working in a particular software or application, right? A DevOps engineer will work with development team staff to tackle the coding and scripting needed to connect the elements of code like libraries or software development kits, right? It's mainly concentrates on the development team, right? The development team, they will write the code, right? They will going to write the code and scripting needed to connect the elements of the code, right? Whatever the scripting is needed to develop the particular application, and also what are the libraries they are needed to support that particular application, they will going to give the information about that scripting and extra libraries for the particular application to the developers, right? Once again, DevOps engineer is an IT professional who work with software developers, system operators, and other production IT staff to administer code releases, right? Next, we'll see the MCQs questions. Now, the first question is, what is batch size in DevOps? The option A, big. Option B, small. What is the batch size of DevOps? Which one is the batch size of DevOps? Small, right? The batch size, right? The team size of, in DevOps is small. In traditional IT system, the batch size is big or high, right? The second question, release risk in DevOps is, right? The options are high risk, low risk, no risk, normal risk, right? The second question, release risk in DevOps is no risk at all, right? Continuous deployment is there, continuous monitoring system is there, right? If any errors came, automatically they will fix those errors. There is no risk in the DevOps, in the release risk, right? The third question is, which one is not a goal of DevOps? Speed, security, seriability, scalability, right? Already I mentioned the answer, that is seriability is the answer, right? Speed, security, and scalability, these are all the goals of DevOps, right? Which one is not a goal of DevOps? Seriability, right? The fourth question, DevOps contains what? DevOps contains higher failures, lower failures, no failures, very high failures. Which one is the correct answer? DevOps contains lower failures, right? Next, the fifth question, in DevOps, cost is low. whether the answer is yes or no. In DevOps, cost is low. Yes or no? Cost is low. Yes. The answer is yes. Option A. The sixth question. In DevOps, the failure rates are more. In DevOps, the failure rates are more. Option A, yes. Option B, no. In DevOps, the failure rates are more. No. In DevOps, there is no failures. There is no failures, or if you have some failures, automatically they will going to fix those errors. Now, question number 7. DevOps gives option A, low quality software. Option B, high quality software. Right? DevOps gives what? Low quality or high quality software? DevOps gives high quality software to the clients. Next. 8th question. In DevOps, job scheduling is centralized, decentralized. Option A, centralized. Option B, decentralized. Which one is the correct answer? In DevOps, job scheduling is decentralized. Right? Next, 9th question. DevOps will gives dash. DevOps will gives dash. Low quality output, high quality output, medium quality output, no output. Which one is the correct answer? DevOps will give high quality output. Right? High quality software, high quality applications. Right? 10th question. In DevOps, cost is. The 10th question. In DevOps, cost is. Option A, high. Option B, low. In DevOps, cost is low. Right? In DevOps, cost is low. Right? These are all the references I have used for this session number 2. Right? Thank you one and all. I'll thank to chairman of our computer science department, Usha D madam, right? Moderator MB Tulsi madam, and subject experts are Parameshwarappa sir, then Sunanda Devi madam, Praveen Kumar sir, and almost all the developers which were involved in the software engineering subject. Thank you one and all. Thank you.